Conference. All right, let's get it. All right, so cool. What up, Nation? What's going on? We're going to have, it's an open forum. We'll have an open discussion about breaking our records because that is the biggest topic. I'm excited. We're winding down and talk about breaking our records and building infrastructure. Next, we're going to kind of go into it. Once I get all my panelists, see everybody here. I wanted the last conversation to be more of an open forum so we can really talk. Hey, these are conversations that kind of need to get out the way. I see a lot of artists in the building. What's your name? You enter Broccoli City. I know you because you do rock and I like your music. I do. I really like it. Yeah. Yes, you can. No, this is Break Your Records. Building infrastructure will be next. All right. So, as we wind down, I want to introduce my panelists, and I always got to bring a lot of energy to the table. All right, I'm going to start from this side. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Where you going to be? 5 o'clock in the morning. Where you going to be? Shout out to Nonchalant. She had one of the biggest hits out of this area. Clap it up. Legendary. We need to give people they what? They flowers. And that's what this is about. That's everybody. Even if you're not on the panel, your flowers is here. I am giving it to y'all. Y'all have made it here. And that is a lot. We have been through a lot. We lost people and now we back. Second up, I mess up Ant name all the time. DJ Murata, one of my best friends. Tour DJ, curator, sound engineer, with Gold Link. He hated me for me to mention that. Like, I'm mentioning that, bro. But he has worked with a lot of people, Little Nye and all that, in the clubs, Joy Club and all that. Next up is Malcolm X. I have already introduced him, but if I need to introduce him again, he is radio personality. He's also a producer, and now he is owner of WEG Studios. How many of y'all heard of WEG Studios? All right, well, let me tell you about it. You remember the old BT joint? Now Malcolm owns it. It is a part of infrastructure, okay? So we got a place now that we got to support, all right? But Malcolm also does the Crank Session on 93.9, and we talk about hits all the time. Next up, this is real special, okay? I met him. This is about relationships and just talking and opening your mouth and having something too. Because you can't see, if you see somebody you're like, all right, I want to just talk. You don't have anything for them. How can you connect? Wait till you got something and then connect. When you got something good, I got the conference, so I was like, I'm gonna pitch the conference, see if he come. That's what happened, right? We have Kev, Be More Kev from 300 Entertainment, okay? There's a lot of good things working with No Savage right now, doing marketing, so he's actively trying to break records. We got Nucci, my guy. Nucci show up for me all the time. Ain't gotta ask twice, don't gotta ask 3 times. We are currently, Nucci has been in May sessions. He has a record called Move. Anybody heard the Move record? Okay, if you ain't heard it, we trying to break it. We've put him in May sessions. We put him on the radio. We are trying to actively break this record. Shout outs to Booby, his father, Free Booby. If y'all walked in there, y'all see the sign up. Make sure y'all know. Top Dollar. My guy, I've been with Top Dollar. He's an artist, a recording artist, fashion designer, just a lot of different things. Go-Go representative. But we've also have pushed records together, and I Got Ice was one of them. I Got Ice was a huge DMV single. All right, y'all ready? Cool. I'm only gonna ask a few, and then I'm gonna open it up, and we're gonna get spicy. All right. So, breaking records. In your opinion, what's a good record? How do you know a hit record? I'm gonna start, that's why I asked. I'm gonna start with Nonchalant. How do you know a good record, Nonchalant? How did you know 5 o'clock in the morning was it?
If a 5-year-old will sing your record, it's a great record. Most of the time, 5-year-olds will pick a record, even when it's something that they shouldn't hear. A lot of times they're hearing it anyway. So if they're singing your record, then you got one. That's simple as that. Most of the time. And 5 o'clock, of course, no 5-year-olds were out at 5 a.m. but they could sing the hook to 5 o'clock. Their parents knew what it was talking about, but all they knew was 5 o'clock. That's all they knew. And I have people to this day who say that they were that age. I was 7 years old, or I was 9 years old, or I was whatever, that age, saying, I love your record. Now I know what your record is about, and it means a lot to me, but they had no idea. They just liked the hook. So yeah, if a child sings your record, then yeah, you got one.
I'm gonna ask Kev. Kev, how do you know a hit record?
How you guys doing? My name's Kevin. I would say, just from being around, like being able to, like, say we have a song in DC, you go to different spots, you go to different lounges, different clubs, and you play that song, and if you see that, okay, I'm in North, I'm in South, West, East, and that song is getting a reaction from people in different regions, not different regions, but different cities or towns, and it's getting that reaction from the East side, from the West side, from the North side, from the South side, you know you kind of got something, and you can kind of build around that. So that's kind of what I go off of when I'm in New York. If we're going uptown, or we're in Brooklyn, or we're in the Bronx, or we're in Manhattan, if all three of those spots and those people know that song and they're rocking with it, then we kind of know that's okay. New York, we got New York. Let's kind of start moving out. So yeah.
Malcolm, how do you know a hit record in top? I'm gonna come to y'all, Nucci.
If it doesn't hit me within the first 5 seconds, I know it's not a hit. But as soon as I turn that song on and I feel something, because you gotta understand, music is not a tangible art form. You can't touch a waveform. You can't touch an MP3. Especially nowadays, you don't have access to the actual record. So it's not physically tangible at all. So to have a physical reaction to it instantly, it's a hit to me. And typically within the first 5 to 10 seconds, if I feel that, then I know it's something. And then from a DJ perspective, when I play a record and I see people react to it kind of instantly, as Kev said, that's when I know.
All right, so my question gonna be a little different from y'all because y'all are artists. And I mean, Nonchalant's an artist too. I mean, I guess everybody's somewhat an artist up here, right? But do you think their answers are subjective? Like, because when you go in the studio, how do you know? Do you ever think like, oh, this is a hit? Oh, this is a hit? Or do you think, oh, this is a good record?
I agree with everything they said. Like Nonchalant, she said if a 5-year-old could sing it, it's kind of like A, B, C, D, or, you know what I'm saying? Like the tunes where you can sing along, somebody can sing along to it. Also, like they said, like I feel like if it can't compete with hits that's already out on the radio, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as BPMs and stuff like that. And if it make you feel good, everybody want to feel good. So if everybody can feel good to your record, I feel as though it's a hit. But when I go in the studio, that's how I look at it. Like, if it make me feel good, I'm like, all right, this joint might go. You know what I'm saying?
What was the first question?
What do you think a hit? How do you know it's a hit? And then I asked you, do you think their answers are subjective? Because do you go in the studio and think hit? Or is this a hit? Like when you make movies, like, it's a hit. Or it's just like, it's a good song. I mean, I know you think all your music is hit, right? But
Nah, I don't. I don't think that all my music is hit. And usually I'm in the studio by myself when I make my songs. Like, I don't produce my music, but I engineer the session. So a lot of times it's just me. And I done grew to be my own biggest critic. So when I'm hearing some, I'm like, I also DJ too. So I'm always listening. It's like I understand the sound of what Malcolm said, like in that first 5 seconds. It's like if it don't got me, it ain't gonna be one. You know what I'm saying? I don't never go into even with the thought process of trying to make a hit when you making music. I just go off what it feel like, what's, you know what I'm saying, what's going on in my life.
I guess that was my next question too. Like, we keep using this word hit, right? Hit. Is that something we need to take out our vocabulary, or is it just good music? What's up, Chubbs? You want to join us? Got Chubbs, he's swag, man. If y'all don't know him, one of the biggest DJs. He go West Coast, East Coast, so he can talk about that coalition and what that means to take your music from East Coast to West Coast and how to break it there. But do you, he like that? Do we need to take hits out of the conversation?
No, I don't think you need to take hit out of the conversation, because I do feel like the word is subjective. It's like saying somebody's pretty. You know what I'm saying? A hit, once you get like platinum and gold, they got certifications for certain stuff. But it's also just like with the word rapper. Everybody's a rapper as soon as you make a song. You know what I'm saying? You don't need any credentials to get in this industry. You know what I'm saying? So it's just certain things that you got to go by. So, you know what I'm saying? They got certifications. This is a 6 times platinum hit. You know what I'm saying? This is a gold hit. But you also got hood hits. You got shit that's gonna be in the club. You got shit that's in this specific area. You got a jump that they could play only in New York clubs, only in Atlanta clubs, only in DC clubs. But they got jumps that transcend from them areas that become, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily global hits, but I've heard Sexy Lady in a bunch of other cities. I don't know the certification on Sexy Lady, even if you can stream it, but you know what I'm saying? People know that shit. So a hit is definitely subjective, but I don't think it should be removed from the vocabulary.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Nonchalant, and I want to know what was the process of 5 o'clock in the morning? Like, how did it break? How did it get so big? I mean, was it labels or?
It was a team, and of course, I mean, for those of who might not know, this record came out in 1996. So this is a time of boots on the ground. This is not a time of social media. This is not a time of, clicking a like. This is a time of people had to actually physically get up and go to a store and purchase your record. So this is a record that's sold now 1 million copies. That means that people actually got up, at least 1 million people actually physically got up and went to get this record. So you all are in a different time where you have, of course, the luxury of the click, the download, the whatever. But with that being said, you also have the competition of 1 million other people having access to that in only a few seconds to get the attention of. So you do a home, for me, I would say at this point in time, you do a home test. Everybody, I don't know anybody's going in the studio and say, I'm gonna make a couple of all right records and then 2 hits. I don't know nobody's that's doing that. So you go in there. So I would say that when you're making these records, there are certain genres. You want your records to be played with certain people. It's a certain type of music that you're making. I did a thing a couple of years ago called RPM, Record Pool Mixes, here in the city. The goal of that record pool was for the record to be broken the same way 5 o'clock was. 5 o'clock was broken in a room full of DJs in a record pool meeting, and the next record that they broke was California Love by Dr. Dre. So the DJ set in and they brought these records in and they say, this is Nonchalant, this is a new artist, and we have her new record and we're gonna play it for you right now. And it was a room full of DJs and they all listened and they all had opinions. They all was like, yeah, it's a cool record. Some of them liked it, some of them didn't. It was that situation. So you have your own record pool right now. You know what let's say you have an artist in your head that let's say you want your record to be playing the same time they playing a Yeezy record. You take your record, and at home, don't wait for the DJ to do it because you want him to throw your record on behind Yeezy. But is it at that caliber? Let you listen to a couple of records and then throw your record on right behind that. Do you get that same feeling? Did it match the feeling that your own record? Was it making you feel like the Yeezy record that you love? If it's not making you feel that way, why would it make them feel that way or the crowd feel that way? Take your record, listen to it, and leave it for a couple of days. I know people, I've been in when I was really, really doing it. Every time I get in the car, I'm listening to your music. I don't want to hear your music every time. You walk driving around listening to it all the time. Take a break from your own music and then go back and listen to it for the first time a week later after this record. It's like, damn, I wish I would have said something else. Or I wanted to go left and the record went right. What made me do that? Take a break from it. Those sorts of things, those types of tests. But for me, when they broke my record, it was, this is Nonchalant, the artist. I'm sitting here. Nobody knows me. We about to put a record on, and either they're going to like the record or they're not going to like it. And they told me whether they liked the record. Right then, they were like, it's a cool record. Or I really like this record. But it was a boots on the ground situation. It was throw it up against the wall and see if it sticks situation back then. You have the luxury of taking your time. You don't have any gatekeepers. You don't have anybody to tell you when you can put your record out. You don't have anybody to tell you. You can walk right up to the DJs. They want to see you. Back in the day, they don't come to the booth. Don't come to the booth to talk to me about nothing. Some people are still like that. Some DJs are still like that. But you have DJs that want you to come and hang out with them and bring them a shot and, whatever, shoot whatever. Not too much because they DJing, but come out and support. You come out and support them, then they'll be more prone to listen to that record after you've done your own test. Test your own record up against somebody that you love. And if it don't make you feel the same, then you're not ready. Don't take it to them hoping that they can break something you not feeling yourself. They're not gonna do it. So that's what I did. It was a long question, but
Nah,
that's what they did. They stuck it up against the wall to see
man, that was great knowledge, man. That was so. Yeah, next, and I'm gonna ask the same question to the DJs. Like Malcolm, what is your process? Marauder was y'all did y'all did crew, and I know people are tired of talking about crew, but that's what we have our measurement at. Other than pressure, pressure's doing really well. Wale's Pocket crew is what we have.
I mean, I think to what Nonchalant said is like we kind of just painted a moment in our mind. So like when you listening to your record or you create a record and you feel like it's a hit, right? So once you've gotten past the point where you've given it your test and you feel like this is a hit, now paint the moment. You're in the club or we're in a festival, wherever we are. Do you think that moment, that record is gonna, you know what I'm saying? Do you think it's gonna fly well? If you think it's iffy, or you think, well, if people think it this way, then it's a hit. No, is it an outright hit in whatever moment you're painting. Even outside of crew, Masego Tadao was a record that's a little unorthodox, right? That's gold now, right? Well, platinum now, right? But that record's being played in Macy's. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a radio hit, but it fits a mold where when that Ariana Grande record goes off, that Zara record, that record that like is being played in Zara, you can throw Tadao on and it fits. You're still shopping and it fits, and now you're humming that melody. So you just got to create a moment, and if that record fits that moment, it's a hit.
Well, let me rephrase the question, right? What is your process, meaning once you find out the song is hot, like even, okay, got this record, I sent you a record, Break My Records, you sent records. What is your process to bake the record? How many times are you playing it? What is your process? When do you think in your mind that I'm going to break this record? Or is that even a question? Is that, and we can be honest here because this is honest conversation. And I don't want nobody to take nothing back and be like, oh my God, they said this, so what? We being honest. Are we doing this? Are you going to generally take this record and just do it on your own? Or do you need some money? You need a budget? Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll explain it from how we did crew. First and foremost, I think you got to define what breaking a record is and what it isn't. So for me, breaking a record is actually breaking that record in to show that it's going to stand the test of time, that the audience is not going to get tired of it. Some people think that breaking a record is just playing it for the first time or being the first DJ to play it in a certain space or radio, whatever. That doesn't mean anything. If you played the record one time but nobody cared, that means nothing. So with crew, for example, Marauder sent me the record. That was probably November, December. Yeah, November. That record didn't actually break until probably like March, April. So in between that, it was just over and over, pretty much every night, just playing it to the point that you start to get reactions, till you start to get people to come to the booth, ask, what is this record? Start handing it out to other DJs. And, you know, the other DJs are not going to play it immediately until they see it actually work. So you got to keep playing it. You got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it, doing it. You can't give up after you don't see it work for the first 3 months, because it's probably not going to hit and probably into that 4th or 5th month.
So, okay. So y'all all collectively made a decision to say we gonna push crew and we not gonna stop.
So we kind of had no choice, because initially when crew came out, and everyone thinks once you sign with a label, you don't got to do any work, right? It's not true. They didn't want crew. We were on RCA. They didn't like the song. They said it was formatted abnormally. They said it goes hook, verse, hook. So I don't know if you remember when crew came out, they had a radio version that went hook, verse, and then it went to hook again, and then Shy's verse. It kills the momentum. And so we had to push that ourselves. They gave us no budget. It wasn't supposed to be on the album. We had to go out. I pull up on Chubby at wherever he is, K-Meta, record a video of the DJs playing the song. And we were posting it on his page, singing it to RCA, showing them, look, this record is working. Give us some budget. They weren't even trying to pay for the music video. They were just leaving us hanging. The video wasn't shot until like March, April. Once the record started, they're like, oh, this is working. And it was a slow burner. So like sometimes you have to actually get out and do that physical work and get the DJs to play it. And that's because me and Malcolm took it upon ourselves to, you know what I'm saying, hit our homies up and say, look, this record is good. And Flo is someone, he's not here yet, but Flo is someone that's really great at that as well. Flo is gonna push his records. Like you get a DJ behind you and he believes in that record, he gonna push it. You know what I'm saying? He or she, they gonna push the record. So just, you make something good, put it on our hands, and we're gonna push it that way.
and I'm gonna hate that I have to say this, but don't be afraid to be annoying with that record. If this is the only product that you need to push for the next 6 months, make sure it's the only product that you're pushing for the next 6 months. The first thing in your conversation should be, hey, listen to my record every single time. And it's annoying, and it's naturally annoying, and it might put a lot of people. But I will tell you, honestly, there's been some artists that will hit me so much, and I'm like, damn, I guess I gotta play it because he's not gonna leave me alone until I do.
Don't say that, bro.
But it's honest. We're having an honest conversation. And sometimes, you know what? I wouldn't recommend doing it, but for some people, it actually works. Especially if you have a good enough record. A lot of times, if you don't have a good enough record, then don't try it. But that's to Nonchalant's point, is you have to actually go out and see, ask your friends, ask around. If you're getting good vibes from the people that you're actually playing it for, and everyone is, as long as it's not yes men or telling you, yes, this is worth you investing your time, money, and energy into pushing, then keep pushing it until it works. Don't just accept the first no.
All right, Top. I know Top has spent real money on records.
With me, like even with I Got Ice, I pushed my music to the streets first, and the DJ had no choice but to play it because it was in demand by the people in the city. So like even if you trying to chase the DJs, like start off with the small DJs that's DJing somewhere where it's like 100 people, 200 people. Get them to break it, because if them 100 people like it, they gonna spread it on to the next 100 people, then the next 100 people. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't necessarily chase the big DJs. You know, I ain't chase the DJs at all, to be honest. You see me right now and I got flies, so like I hit the streets and then it blew up from there, and they had no choice but to come to me and be like, man, send me that record. You know what I'm saying? I already had a good relationship with the DJs, but I wasn't pushing them to push my music. You know what I'm saying? They had to come get it. So you could take that route too.
But why? But there's a reason why you stopped messing with the DJs, right?
You say it's a reason why?
Is there a reason why you stopped messing with the DJs, or you didn't push to the DJs? We could talk about it. We can be honest.
I mean, for the DJs, it ain't no reason. If you talking about the radio, well, the radio, when I first started rapping, I ain't know.
I meant radio.
Huh?
I meant radio.
Oh yeah, radio. Well, when it comes to the radio, I was banned from the radio for like 2 years.
Why were you banned?
Cause I had a mixtape called F the Radio. Cause nah, to be honest, like, all right, so look.
I've got some wild tapes. Posh on my dig. Fuck
So
the
like
radio.
this what happened right here.
So was your goal to get banned, or was the goal to, like, when you did that with that title, was the goal to,
All right,
like?
so look, this is what it was. I felt like I was hot, which I was. I had a big fan base, you know what I'm saying, when I started rapping. So I felt like the radio ain't playing my shit, f them. You know what I'm saying? So I made a mixtape called Fuck the Radio. And at that time, Twitter was popping. Well, I ain't saying it ain't popping no more, but Twitter was popping. Twitter was it. So I used to get in Twitter joy every day. So at that time, when I made the mixtape F the Radio, my fans attacked the radio people. And they thought I made them do it, but I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I got banned from the radio for 2 years. Like, literally, like, no DJs was trying to mess with me because I got basically blackballed. Like, they knew who I was. They was my friends, but they're like, look, we can't do it because they said we can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I had to actually, and I've never been a person that chased the radio or chased that type of stuff, but it was like, damn, play my stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm hot. So I feel like, for real, I kind of changed the radio game in the DMV, because once that happened, then I started getting on there. It's like all these other songs start coming on. But you just got, I just say push to the streets, you know what I'm saying? Because they going to push you and they going to have to come to you.
I just want to shout
I
you
didn't
out.
know that. I didn't know that.
Let me shout Top Dollar out real quick. My first show I ever
DJ
did.
Flo right there. Okay, Flo, come on up.
My first show I ever did was with you at the Crystal skating ring. You know what I'm saying? And back then, even, bro, I was young as but I don't give a fuck where I went. Nigga seen your advertisement somewhere, everywhere. And I was like, this nigga, I don't know who the this nigga is, but this nigga everywhere. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I wasn't outside like that yet. But even like today, like, it's a bunch of motherfuckers here. And like, I was curious. I'm like, damn, ain't nobody got no advertisement out here. Like, I understand people you got your cars, of course, we in the future QR, but it's like, if everybody's doing the same thing, who gonna get through? You know what I'm saying? Somebody gotta stand out. Like, when you was doing that shit stood out. I come from the era, when I first started doing music, niggas was still listening to CDs. So I'd have been all over the country passing CDs out. That I met endless from New York, Texas, Cali, Atlanta, Florida, the Midwest. I didn't hand it shit out. I didn't shook a million people hand. A lot of people in here I didn't had personal interactions with throughout the years and just, you know what I'm saying, being active. But I feel like when you're in the process of trying to break something or build anything, you got to build relationships first. So back to the DJs, I used to go out with, you know, first of all, Free Booby, that's my father. I come from the Oi Boys, you know what I'm saying? They've been out here since 01 doing hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Niggas wasn't even rapping yet. He was the first niggas in the clubs, buying bottles, looking, you know what I'm saying? They said, forget the go-go, we gonna go to the real clubs. And now everybody, you know what I'm saying? We in the real clubs now, popping bottles and looking like something, you know what I'm saying? It's part of the image. But I got to see them, you know what I'm saying, get to 106 in Park, get to bring big artists to the city like Juvenile. I've been in the studio with Scarface, seeing Gucci Man come through the city, like Juicy J, like, you know what I'm saying, really firsthand seeing a lot of stuff. And this is, you know what I'm saying, going out and reaching out and, you know what I'm saying, bring it back. I'm seeing all these people here. I'm not going to other places and seeing them at that time. Now I am, but at that time I used to see them go out to Atlanta, go out to Cali, go out to New York, build the relationships, and then bring people back. Just go out and be a good representation of the city. That way niggas want to come with us instead of just come through, get a bag of bliss, and then roll out. But back to my original point, when I first started moving around and going out by myself, I go straight to the DJ booth. You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't know him, just go introduce myself. I'm Nooch. What you drinking on? Get him something to drink. I usually got something with me, maybe two. That way, you know what I'm saying, the DJ ain't lonely. And then, you know what I'm saying, I make a good impression the first time. They like, I remember that nigga, I fuck with that nigga. I don't even ask him to play no music. I just be like, hey, so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. A lot of times, them niggas already know who I am, so it'd be like a good thing, even, you know what I'm saying? I ain't big-headed or nothing. Like, I understand I done did a lot of things. A lot of y'all might not know me. I'm Nucci, Southeast DC, rap my ass off, artist like a motherfucker. I done been signed with Atlantic. I done got off of Atlantic. I done made it through. I'm a Grammy board member, you know what I'm saying? An engineer, I engineered a lot of people. I've been doing this shit for a minute, but I feel like the biggest thing I done got from it or learned from it was being a good nigga and building good relationships.
All right, so Flo just walked in and we got Chubbs. And so the question is, and I'm gonna go back to Utah because I got a question after this. I'm gonna let Flo and Chubbs answer. But the question is, what is your process of breaking a record now? I'm not asking you what it takes. I'm not asking you about a hit. What is your process when you decide, what makes you decide I'm gonna break this record? Because for DMV artists, it's like, okay, we do got some hits. I made the list of damn near 100 singles. I thought it was pretty good. I listened to every last one of them. I really did. There are great hits here, but what makes you decide that, okay, I'm gonna invest in this record? You can say money, that's okay. But it is like, let's be honest, because we gotta stop because it's not happening.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, so, and I'm not, that wasn't directed towards you, but we just kind of got to get it out the way. If it's like, do I need $50K to break this record, or like, what is it? Yeah, so what is your process to actually do this? How many times do you spend it, and how do you decide that?
How's everybody doing? First off, my name is DJ Flo. I'm on the morning show in Baltimore, 92Q, 92.3, every day, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. I DJ for Shy Glizzy. I manage a bunch of artists. I do a bunch of cool things out here, and I help a bunch of people. So to answer your question, I think it's a mixture of a bunch of things for me. One, the song has to be good. That's the key part of it. And if you're aware of what your demographic is, and I see consistency, because it's one thing when you see an artist, it's like, y'all got this record, and then 2 weeks later, it's like, I got this other record, and then 2 weeks later, I got this other record. I'm looking like, damn, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already moved on to 3 songs, so I know you not work. I know it's like throwaways almost. Now, when I see an artist, and it's like, yeah, I've been working this record for 2 months, and it sound good, and you've seen him in the club, and I've seen you at events like this, and then I've seen you on the internet, of course, and I'm seeing you curate your own events around your record, and you're having listening sessions and you're inviting DJs into your sessions to kind of like guide you with your sound, because of course we have to play the record. So if you have a DJ a part of your process, it makes it a little easier to get your record broken, because you're working with the DJ who's playing with the song. They can guide you. There's certain things that we could teach you or show you that will help us. So when I see like a bunch of those intangibles like put together, I go, all right, this person makes sense, because I know it's not a waste of my time. I know I can give this person all my resources and this person's gonna do something with it. So many times we link up with certain artists and they get that one record and then they lose their goddamn mind. They don't want to do community service no more, late to interviews, late to shows, and it's just like, come on, I knew this was gonna happen, you feel me? So I would say all those intangibles, when you see somebody really putting in the work, it makes it worth your time.
Shout out to everybody that stepped in the room. I see Kim, I see Angie. We're going to get into our building infrastructure conversation in probably like 10 or 15 minutes, but we get through breaking our records. So Chubbs, I want to know, is you go from East Coast to West Coast. So I really want to talk about the West Coast and what the difference in between it, and what is your process of breaking a record? Because you play a lot in the West Coast.
For me personally, I like to judge the versatility of the record. So for me first, I need to find out how many times can I play this record and where can I play it at. I do a lot of different events, sometimes corporate, sometimes weddings, sometimes it's nightclubs, sometimes it's, funerals, whatever. I do a lot of different type of events that are versatile, and every single record doesn't go in every single event. If you do have that record, then yeah, you're ahead of the rest, but every record isn't 10 places versatile. Some records are only good in the car. That's what we need to find out. That's a part of the initial research that I do. I also do a little social media research as well. I'll type the song into Twitter. I'll type the song into Facebook, whatever. I'll see what people are saying about it. I'll see where this is coming from. If I notice a trend somewhere, okay, boom, this is where this song is hot at. These are other artists that have songs similar to it. They are making a wave in this area. This is something I need to pay attention to. Another thing that's very important to me is I'll ask other DJs from the area of where the song is coming from, because that will help me align whether this record is something I need to be getting behind or I should just wait until this artist comes out and proves themselves. A lot of people are like Scud missiles. They'll throwaways, like Flo said, artists and records. There's a lot of artists just coming out just to be thrown away. One record, two records, one feature, one verse, whatever. It's up to us as DJs to figure that out beforehand. That way we're not laying this burden on you, the consumer. The difference between breaking on one side rather than the other is more politics than anything. You're still going to need a street team. You're still going to need some type of presence to push yourself, whether it's a viral presence, whether it's an in-person presence, whether it's secondhand, you move through an entity or something like that. It's all different, but it's going to take you to do some effort, to make some bridge building of some sort, to put some relationships together that you didn't have previously. My personal process on breaking the record, I playlist very, very oddly. So I have like over 3,000 crates. So I'll make a crate over and over and over and over and over and over again. So it helps me align with orders. So if I know exactly your song BPM after I've seen it, I know your tempo, I know what key it's in, everything else, I know that it belongs to this set with these records. And then if I could put it behind this record at this particular time, at this particular moment in the party, it's gonna do this. If I put it behind this record, behind this particular time of the party, it's gonna do that. And that's how I judge everything. You have to kind of not manifest, but you have to understand where the direction of each record is going ahead of time. And then after that, you see what the results give you. So it's a guesstimate, but you still have to make an educated guess ahead of time.
All right, I want to introduce Miss Cam. Everybody know who Miss Cam is? Represent B More. Yeah. And you can tell people, what's the name of your project?
My most recent project is called Two Face.
It's called Two Face, okay? I want to say that Miss Cam did not put this record on streaming at all, and it blew me. Because I was like, damn, I'm getting on Apple. And she took time. She didn't do it until like a year. She did a lot for this record. And so we're talking about the process of breaking a record. And my main question to you is, why did you do it like that? And for people who don't know what you did, just bring briefly how you dropped your project. And it made a lot of noise. I don't know if Miss Cam is on the Spotify ads. She's on shows. She's killing stuff. And I feel like a lot of artists should. That was just great. I wouldn't even thought about that. You did it really well. Your rollout is really well. So I just want you to explain that to people.
Hello, everybody. Pardon me, I'm a little out of breath now. All right, thank you for having me. So, yes, my most recent project is called Two Face. I was very, very, very strategic with that. Like, extremely. I made that very clear to my team that I'm gonna be doing this a little different than most artists do it. So you're gonna have to be patient with me. With me, it's always money first. I know a lot of people say that, but I mean that, and it shows. I dropped my album on a streaming website called Bandcamp. If anybody's familiar with that, you get your money directly from Bandcamp. Everybody, they like the numbers. I like the numbers in my bank account. So, I just stick to that for real. So I had a goal in mind, and that was to, see how far I could really take expanding my own fan base, and seeing, okay, how loyal are the people that really support me? Because if you really do, you won't buy my music. You're going to share my music. You're going to tell people that my music is good. So there we have it. We did that. And, on top of that, it was a pandemic. I was trying to make some money, you get what I'm saying? So I'm like, look, I don't got time to be faking all these numbers and these streams and stuff. I got people to feed. I got my own pockets to, contribute to. So definitely put a lot of work into figuring out specific songs that I was going to perform, specific songs that I want to get on the radio, songs that I want to touch people's heart, songs that, you can bump in the car, you can do this, you can do that. It's a purpose-varied song, piggyback over what you were saying. You gotta have an idea in mind for everything. You know what I'm saying? And for this project, it was definitely to show people, even as an emerging artist, you could really push your own stuff. And you can really stretch it as far as you want to, as long as you have a loyal fan base and you have that gusto and you got that, if you got that it factor, people gonna follow it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really drop it on streaming until a year later. And then once I did that, it was once again a strategic move because I already knew everybody already wanted it on streaming. It was a moment. Everything I do, I make sure it's a moment. And I feel like nowadays everything is like viral moments. I don't be going for that. I go for moments that build my career to the next level. Every time I do something, I think that's very important for every artist to try to find out, all right, what is my moment going to be and how can I expand on that and keep creating moments. So that's what I did with Two Face for real. Made a moment and then keep on, doing it.
So you wasn't, I'm not gonna say you don't care about radio, but that wasn't your thought, like, oh, I need to get the attention of the major people when I drop this project. Because I think a lot of artists think directly, hey, I need to make Spotify, I need to make Apple, I need to do this. You didn't give a did you? Or I feel like if you study your sound in the craft and what's going on in the industry at the time, you can kind of have an ear for what can go on the radio and what is going to pop. You get what I'm saying? So in essence, I did have a song, FTCU. That was specifically for the radio, specifically to get, plays, to get that, okay, this is that song. You get what I'm saying? Of course, that wasn't the goal, but I knew it could happen. So I was like, all right, let's make that one, Even on, I had an EP called Birthday Pack. Had a song on there called Nasty, whole twerk song. Like, okay, there we go. That's, what I'm saying? And it's going to be points in your career where it's like, okay, your core values and what you want to get out of it, but you also got to play the game. And you got to play it right if you want to do that. So you got to do that. That's really dope, man. Clap it up for her. Like, if y'all need to go get that project Two Face, I was really impressed. I thought with this panel that it was very important because I've heard people's opinions. I've heard a lot of y'all, I see a lot of y'all comments. It's crazy. But nonetheless, the artists should have a part. So in order to break this record, we need different type of people a part of this conversation. I want to go back because Kev, you didn't get to speak on it because you're at 300. So I want you to speak on it really quick. And I'm gonna ask Top my question. And I'm gonna open up the floor. Then we're gonna go to our last panel. And then, yep, we going out of here, man. Appreciate y'all. So Kev, what? Yeah, answer, talk a little bit because we talked about a lot. And yeah. So you do. He actively does marketing. He's actively working with No Savage.
Yeah, so just to give an introduction, my name is Kevin, everybody, from Baltimore, Maryland. I started interning at 300, and then after college, I was able to get a job there. I work in the radio promotions. I also do a little bit of marketing too. But one of the biggest things, just to wrap it up, one of the biggest things I learned, like everybody was saying, is like relationships is the biggest thing. Like bro was saying, any spot I go to, any party, any lounge, like the first place I'm going to is the DJ, and it's just because like they creating the vibe, and a lot of people don't understand when you're an artist. The DJs are the people that are playing the music. So it's okay to have the fans, but you also want to have a relationship with the people that are going to play your records and promote your records, and not just, sit in the house and just bump them. They're going to actually, put them on the market and promote them. Any more questions or just?
The crowd answer, and then, all right, so this is my question for Top. And it's not for Top. It's in reference to what Top said. Tops came out with a tape, said, F the radio. Okay? I know, Malcolm, you want to answer. And there's a lot of people that have said, F the radio, F DJs, F me. If you say, F me, it is F me. I'm letting you know I don't change my mind. It's cool. I'm keeping the same energy. But is that a hindrance? Do you, because you said you felt like you got banned. I didn't necessarily feel that way, but maybe with DJs. I also wasn't in your position. If somebody says, if an artist is like, F the radio, does that make a difference to, this is for the DJs? I know artists like, but this is for the DJs. If they say, F the radio, F the DJs, are you still going to pay attention? Because that's almost like they could be emotional that day. I don't know. So what happens when they say F the DJ? Because Top felt like he got blackballed, and that's a lot.
So you go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'll go first. As Top kind of learned, he got banned for, you said 2 years, or it felt like 2 years. I don't know if I wasn't there at the radio at the time, but getting banned from radio is a thing. Trade of Truth is still banned from all Radio 1 stations across the country, and it's been for like 10, 15 years, something crazy. He made a joke about the PD or something like that, and they've carried it. If I play a Trade of Truth record, I will get fired. Yeah, no, it's a real thing. So you're taking a risk by doing it, and for you, it might have worked at the time, but I wouldn't recommend for anybody else to.
Also, like 20 years old, like just coming.
Right.
We just saying because there's a lot of artists that said it and probably tweeted it like,
it's like the WWF. Like, I want to be a bad guy and think that's going to work, and it might work. You might get fans from it. You might get interest from, people on the internet are going to hype you up because there's a lot of people who want to say F the establishment anyway. But is it necessarily like, if I say F you and F made in DMV, are you going to invite me out? No, exactly.
I used to respond to people, but I don't anymore. So it's really hard.
They say you catch more bees with honey. So don't do that. It's 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna work.
And even like me, like it wasn't also like, it was the name of my mixtape, and it wasn't me like picking at the radio. It was just like, all right, F it. I just got to do what I got to do. Like, F the radio. I'm not catering to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hit these streets, and they going to have to come holler at me when I Got Ace came out. They came to holler at me. DJs came to holler at me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I was every day, F the radio, F them. I don't give a fuck. I don't need them. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, all right, they ain't playing me. So it's like, F them. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I felt at that time.
I think also though, like, I'm not a radio DJ. I'm a tour DJ. So all that, when people are like, F the DJ, whatever, that don't bother me, honestly, because I'm just saying, in reality, it don't, you know what I'm saying? It don't, But even if they say the DJ, I need a product. You know what I'm saying? I need a product to play in certain environments, right? If I'm at a festival and you are an artist that makes music that works at a festival, like for instance, this young lady right here, Zariah, she makes music. I've been waiting to be outside to play her music because I do festivals that are alternative, right? And so I can go to Lightning in a Bottle on May 28th, right? I'm gonna be at that festival. There's like Black Coffees there. So many different alternative artists. I could go do in my preset and play her music. And if she got on the internet and said, the DJ, I don't care because there's only one of her. You feel me? And I need it. Cool, I'm gonna still play this shit. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. I got a job to do. You feel me?
And hold on, Bird.
Okay.
And another person, I'm a radio DJ myself, and I see the tweets and all that. You know, I'll be on Twitter. I don't give a. I see the goddamn tweets, and I argue with a bunch. I probably argue with you already. Probably got some of y'all blocked in here for real. And being honest, I think it's a misconception. You don't need radio, right? That's the key. I'm on the radio and I can tell you this is the truth. Radio's like the icing on top, you feel me? It's if you already have a record in motion and it's already doing well, like say you got 1 million views on YouTube, you got 500,000 streams, that might be something you wanna, push towards the radio, but you don't need the radio to get on. So I wouldn't have frustration with any vehicle that is not beneficial to me, you feel me, until I need it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool, like, of course, but you got to remember in our place, you're competing against the world. So I know a lot of people do y'all should be supporting the local blah, blah, blah. Cool, understandable. But we had a pandemic, radios took a hit. So now you're going against the world. When you drop a record, you're going against the new DJ Khaled record, the new Little Baby record. It's only a certain amount of slots that you can honestly get in. So you have to make an undeniable situation. There are certain records that are out there who are just undeniable. Your pull-up hop-outs, your old talks, your I Got Ices, it's just cruel. It's just certain records that have been undeniable. And you have to remember, these people came out of nowhere. People didn't know Will. That was Will's first record gone. You feel me? Like Shorty from Baltimore. Like they came out of nowhere. So it can happen for anybody. And that didn't happen with radio. It was like a collective of the entire DJ community and clubs and socialites and Instagram. And it was just a collective of the community. So you don't need radio. The community can hold you down if it's undeniable though. That's key.
And to take it a step further, from Nonchalant's point earlier, where she was saying she was broke, her record was broke from playing in a room full of DJs. Nowadays, Top said, you don't even really need the DJ. You kind of can force the DJ to play your way. TikTok is the #1 music curation place in the world right now. There's songs that are existing and are getting millions of plays that eventually somebody like Kev is going to hit me and be like, yo, this song is getting X amount of streams. It's booming on TikTok. You got no choice but to play it. And at that point, I don't have any choice but to play it because the club wants to do whatever TikTok dance is popping at the time. I got to play that because it's hot. So you don't really need to go the same channels that you once did for music. It's a whole new day in which it's just about generating your own fan base and moving forward from there.
And I will say this because these are a few incredible DJs. I've been pretty much, and I'll keep it quick, I've been in every slot up here. I've been the artist. I worked at WPGC in middays and then in the evenings. And then I'm also a DJ. So I'm looking at it from all these point of views, how they broke my record, how they actually broke 5 o'clock. They took 5,000 copies of 5 o'clock to the Million Man March, and they passed out 5,000 copies to 5,000 black men. That's how they broke.
Be standing on the corner.
5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's how they broke 5 o'clock. So, but what I want to say to you guys, all these DJs are important. Radio, all that is important. But just like there are a million DJs, there are a million rappers right now, a million DJs. We've all been in a mall where somebody's DJing. Has anybody been in a mall at Macy's or wherever somebody's DJing? That's an important DJ. Just because you don't know who that DJ is, but that's an important DJ. So take advantage of the DJs that you might not think are on the radio or whatever, but there are DJs that are on YouTube. There are DJs that are in a lot of places that have millions of followers, and that DJ could be the DJ you passing and don't feel like you need to give them because they're not at the Joy Luck Club and they not going. No, just right. So just because you don't know where that DJ is, so take advantage of if you. I know everybody in here knows other DJs in your family. It's a DJ at the family reunion. Does the DJ at your family reunion have your music? That's the kind of questions you need to ask yourself to get the boots on the ground. You want to absolutely, who doesn't want to get it to, your DJs on the radio? And like he said, you don't need the radio DJ. At this point, the radio DJ should be asking you for your song. The radio DJ should be asking. I have people that will hit me and be like, I heard about so-and-so in your area. And I'll be like, I don't know who it is, but I'll find out. But that's what you want. You want them to want your music. Of course, we want to. I did it. I would do it. I would do it if I was you. I would, if I see a DJ, absolutely. But outside of that, make them want your music. Make them have to come and find you because so many other people are playing your music. I'm telling you what I know. I know everybody got 13-year-olds in your family. I know you got 12-year-olds in your family. I know you got 15-year-olds in your family. You got 9-year-olds in your family. If you have a clean version of your song, make sure every child in your family has your song. If they can play that, if it's something that they can play, that's who you want. Because those are the people that are calling the station over and over and over and over and say, can I hear this song? Can I hear this song? Can I hear this? They have time to do that. That's who's requesting records. That's who you need to make sure you have that has your music. You don't have time to be calling no station. Who in here is calling the station 4 or 5 times a night to request a record? Nobody. But I bet a 12-year-old is. She got all night long to sit and watch Instagram and listen and pray that they play her record. That's who's calling. So that's who needs to have your record. And if you don't have a record for her, make one for her. Make a version for her because she's going to be singing it because it's going to be a hit. She's singing The Baby and he definitely saying stuff she shouldn't be saying, but she's singing it. So make one for her so she can call them 1,000 times and request your record.